DraftKings Contributor Geoff Ulrich and Rotowire's Bruno and AJ Scholz are here to preview tonight's NHL playoff slate. 4 games to choose from, locking at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time with the Capitals and Bruins. So guys, let's start there with Game 4 in Boston. All 3 of these games have gone to OT. My God. So you have to be thinking a money line bet here, right? I mean, Jeff, do you like the Caps to tie the series at plus 143, or will that 2 OT heartbreaker be too much to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, we've alluded to this every time we've talked about this series, and I've been on. Obviously, it's just an insanely close between these two teams. 1 goal separated them in the regular season, and in 8 matchups. And I mean, again, we've gotten 3 OT series here. I still lean with the Bruins here. I just think that they're the better team. They were my pick to begin here, so it's really hard for me to just sit here and say I think Washington is going to win. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people will have Washington rated out just because they're plus money available, but I'm going to side with Boston here. You know, I think they have the significant edge in net. I know Samsonov played better for the Capitals in Game 3 there, but I think Boston eventually overcomes this. And I think at some point we're going to see them break through and actually win a game in regulation, possibly by even more than 1 goal. So, again, it's probably not going to be the popular move tonight, but I do think Boston has the edge here, and I'm going to side with them.
All right, what do you think, Paul?
I think I'm on Jeff's side all the way here. I really like the way he's laid it out. The Bruins are in the driver's seat with a series lead, a home date for Game 4, and no uncertainty in goal. Tuukka Rask is perhaps the biggest advantage they have going into this tilt. At some point, you have to think they're going to break out of this 1-goal victory thing in overtime, and today's that day in my mind. The Bees just seem to have a slightly better structure to their game, and the Caps look like they were just barely hanging on for long stretches in the overtime of the last tilt. Consider the 19-8 shot advantage over the 2 overtime periods.
AJ, are you with the guys?
Yes, but no. I'm still riding the overtime train here. And so I'm going to look again at that 60-minute line. You can get tie at plus 330. That's fantastic value for a series that's gone 3 overtimes. Make it a 4th tonight. Look, I definitely think we could see the Bruins take the 3-1 series lead at home, which is why I'm not taking the Caps on the money line. But a 1-goal game keeps me away from the puck line on the Bruins side as well. It does look like Washington will get Lars Eller back tonight, which could tip the scales in their favor towards evening the series. But if it happens, it'll be in overtime.
Yeah, let's give AJ a little credit because he called that overtime bet in the last game too. That was a great one. So.
I mean, can we take another overtime? I don't know. It's very interesting. All right, the Hurricanes are minus 148 road favorites to take on a commanding 3-0 series lead against the Preds. Paul, do you think the Canes win again, or do the Preds pull one out at home as plus 127 dogs?
Jess, I certainly think the Canes have planted plenty of seeds of doubt in the minds of the Preds following their 2 wins at home on the heels of a decided advantage that we pointed out in the prelude to this set. 6-2 was the advantage in the regular season. Ordinarily, I wouldn't suggest that a team is never at a disadvantage until they lose a playoff game at home. But the advantages that we saw at the start of the series has played out to a T. The Canes are a better team in all areas of the game, and the Preds haven't had an answer over now 10 outings between the 2 clubs. I see little reason for optimism for the home fans tonight.
AJ, you agree?
Absolutely. Nashville is just too outclassed in this one. And honestly, I don't mind laying up some juice here at minus 148, which I think is a little bit too favorable to the Predators, a little too much home ice lean on that one. I'll for sure take the Canes on the puck line at plus 190. I would even consider going up to Carolina on the alternate plus puck line minus 2.5 goals, which they did cover in the first 2 games. You can get plus 350. Nedeljkovic has been the absolute game changer in this one, posting a .964 save percentage through the first 2 games, and I look for him to continue that run tonight.
Jeff, you agree with the guys?
It's a 3 for 3. Give me a round of Preds here. This line makes 0 sense. I mean, I think that the Canes are getting discounted here because they're starting a rookie in net or something. Or maybe someone just doesn't believe in them at the sports books. I don't know. But the Hurricanes are absolutely, look, they're second in expected goal rate already in the playoffs. The Preds are the absolute walking dead here. They're 15th in that same category. They just don't create offense. The Preds are a wing and a prayer. All they are hoping for is a 50-save performance from Juuse Saros. It could happen, but I don't really want to bet on it. I think minus 148, you're getting fantastic value to take the Hurricanes on the money line here.
All right, guys, moving to Game 2 between the Jets and Oilers. Winnipeg used a huge 3-goal third period to upset the heavily favored Oilers in Game 1. AJ, Do you think Edmonton is shell-shocked and Winnipeg can do it again as plus 143 underdogs, or do the home favorite Oilers at minus 167 bounce back in this one?
Well, I told you guys on Wednesday that Hellebuyck could steal one for this team. I didn't think it would be game one, but I'm not sure he can take another game on the road. Still, you could see Nikolai Ehlers and Pierre-Luc Dubois back in the lineup tonight. Neither one's been ruled out for that one. They would both immediately jump into top six roles. I think this was a one-off game. I expect the Oilers to win in this series, but honestly, I'm going to stay away from it because it could happen. It absolutely could happen with Winnipeg. I'm going to look player props here instead. I like Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler, both over 2.5 shots for plus 125. And look, you can get some value on McDavid here too for an anytime goal scorer at plus 105. Nice to get some value on that. If anybody's going to score against Hellebuyck, it certainly has a good chance of being him.
Jeff, what do you think? Can the Dogs do it, or do the home favorite Oilers bounce back?
I mean, it's really hard for me to pick against the Oilers just from a bias standpoint, but like, it's nightmare fuel. What's going on with the Jets right now? Hellebuyck his last 3 games, he's been right back to that Vezina winning form. Obviously stopping a bunch of shots in game 1 here. And look, the Oilers are a team with flaws. I mean, we like to romanticize they have the 2 best players in the game. They're throwing out Tyson Barrie, who's bad 5-on-5. They don't have secondary scoring. This team has been shut down for stretches this year. I don't think they're a really good bet on the money line at this price. I think this should be closer, a little bit closer to like a pick 'em or something. So I'm not going to recommend Winnipeg just because I can't do that. Like my emotions won't let me, Jesse. But this is a game that I'd probably stay away from as well, and probably try and drift into some of the player props. I do think that you're probably going to see like McDavid or Draisaitl score some points here. So maybe going with the multiple point game from like Draisaitl, which is, I believe, plus 125 in the DraftKings Sportsbook. I don't hate that, but this is a game on the money line and the puck line. If anything, I would side with Winnipeg, but I'm probably just going to stay away.
Paul, do you want to stay away here and look at player props? Is this one just too hard to predict?
No, I'm in on this one on the Jets side. I'll tell you why. I think they look very confident, a team that's certainly broken out of a recent slump, and the Oilers' high-end players just couldn't get on track. The coach and AJ will tell you that the best way to keep a lid on McDavid and Draisaitl is to stay with them when the play transitions from their own defensive end of the rink to the other side on offense, and they did that with great results, Winnipeg did. Be with them at the start when they move out of their end, I say. That style of play could limit the Oilers' offense once again if the Jets can repeat that approach to game 1. A lot of Edmonton's 33 shots at Hellebuyck were not high danger chances. I watched this game from beginning to end, and I'll take that plus 138 and look for a repeat performance from the Jets tonight.
All right, guys, the Blues have been no match for Nathan MacKinnon and the Avs, but they are at home. St. Louis is plus 200 as home underdog. Jeff, do you think they still win at home, or do the Avs just roll again?
This one's really tempting to take the Blues here. I think you could maybe look at the puck line, plus 1.5, you're getting minus 130. I think you could see some kind of like OT game here. Colorado, look, they've been dominant. They're clearly the better team. I'm not trying to make a case that St. Louis is going to come back and win this series, but they kind of, woke the sleeping dog, so to speak, with that hit on Justin Falk. And you just don't do that in the playoffs, and you're going to get a response here. Like, the Blues are still a veteran team. I know they're super banged up on the back end. Maybe they get some help, like maybe Vince Dunn gets in tonight. But I think it's just a spot where, the Blues are they're going to throw everything at it tonight. Like, I really kind of think that this is, if anything is going to happen here, you're going to get a close game. So like I said, I don't mind going to the Blues on the puck line, maybe taking the OT prop here as well. But I think St. Louis is going to make this a close game. And, regardless of what happens here, Colorado wins in 4 or 5. But I don't mind siding with the Blues on the money line or the plan here.
Paul, are you tempted to take the Blues here?
Absolutely. I disagree with the assessment that you started with, that the Avs were rolling in that last game. Consider the shots on goal were 29-16 for the Blues over the last 2 periods, 14 if you discount the 2 empty netters for St. Louis over the last 2 periods in that game. The Avs will be without Nazem Kadri, as he will be suspended for a dangerous hit in game 2, and he'll likely miss the rest of the series. His 3rd such offense in the last 3 playoff tournaments, incidentally. That takes Colorado's number 2 center out of lineup, likely for the remainder, and cause these lines to be shuffled. I think the Blues are going to be inspired by these developments and a return to their home ice tonight. I like them big time this evening.
AJ, do you like the Blues big time?
I don't. I will take that puck line for Colorado every single day and twice on Sundays. you can still get some value here. If you want to go series bet at Colorado to win 4-0 at plus 125, although that's a pretty big drop from what we've seen earlier. Binnington fell back into that form we've seen from him all season with a sub 900 save percentage in game 2. Look, I'd consider going even bigger. You can get minus 2.5 for plus 220. You get really crazy in this one. Go Avs minus 3.5 for plus 480 if you're looking for a decent long shot bet. I am not on the Blues tonight, guys. It's all Colorado.